Hello and welcome everyone back finally to the last part of day 2 in our Pathologic 2 Let's Platinum. Now we're going to continue where we left off and head on over to the Haruspex layer, which is basically going to be our base for the rest of the game. Everything we do will pretty much be revolving from around here. So we'll take a quick tour of the place so we're familiar with everything that's going on. We can grab some water here, supply is limited though. In this room here is where we can sleep and save our game. We've got a couple of workbenches in the back here, one to repair weapons and protective clothing, and the other one is to upgrade inventory space. Now in this cupboard here, we've got some items that we can grab, so go ahead and do that. We can also store items in here and we're not going to lose them. So in a sense, this is going to be our storage space for any excess loot, and will definitely come in handy for the rest of the game. Sticky's over here in the corner, so we're going to go ahead and speak to him. And through this part, we're going to learn about tinctures, medicine, and how to diagnose and cure the plague that's about to spread through this whole entire town. Now the answers you give during this part, it does not matter. It's basically going to be a tutorial, and we can access this information whenever we want to. You're going to find this in the thoughts section of the inventory screen. So here we'll learn how to create different tinctures by mixing different combinations of herbs. All you need is 2 different herbs and some water. Each herb combination will create a different tincture, and there's 3 different tinctures we can create. And now we get the chance to practice making people more immune to the plague. This will come in handy for when we need to keep certain NPCs alive for the rest of the story. We'll need to keep certain NPCs alive in order to pop certain trophies. They will be missable on your playthrough if the NPCs die. Now we can do this by using these tinctures we find, or the tinctures that we make, or you can also use immunity boosters, but I'd advise keeping hold of the tinctures unless absolutely necessary, as we're going to need these tinctures mainly for diagnosis and experimenting with the cure for the plague. Now the next part, it does look confusing, but it is pretty much self-explanatory. You'll come across many infected people in the coming days, and in order to save them, we'll need to administer the correct medicine. But first, we need to use some morphine until the pain bar on the right depletes completely. So before we advance, go back to the cupboard and grab the stuff in here. Head on over to the brewery and mix the herbs that we just grabbed to get a few more tinctures. Now we're going to need a couple of each tincture, so we'll see if the herbs respawn. And they do, so let's make the rest of the tinctures. There we go. So let's have a look at this chap here. We now need to figure out where the infection is. So the tinctures and medicine are colour coded. If we use the Yas tincture, we'll see if the bones are infected, and they're not, so it's going to either be in the blood or the nerves. Also, you need to be careful when it comes to the pain meter. Each tincture that we use will increase the pain meter, and if it gets full, we're going to fail the diagnosis. So some morphine will bring that down a bit. And we're going to use this Zurich tincture to find the infection will be in the blood. And now we've got that diagnosis down, we're going to give the little guy some monomycinium. I can't pronounce them, sorry. They're basically the orangey pills down here. And you know these are the right ones because we have a definite diagnosis that the infection's in the blood. The colours of the pills match the colour of the blood, plus the description will tell you what it does if you're still unsure. And there we go, job done. Now it's important to mention that just because we got the diagnosis right, all we've done is simply improve the lad's chance of surviving. People can still die from the plague, as we'll see later on. Also, as I mentioned before, you can find all that information in the Menku knowledge part of the thoughts menu if you're still unsure on what to do. So if you ever need to look back, then just head on over here, go through everything, and it'll explain it all again for you. Right, so now then, let's go and find Sticky and have a chat with him quickly. Now you need to choose the options that I choose on screen. We're going to need Sticky to get us a toolkit to fix the main alembic, so we can start to work on an actual cure, which will net us a few trophies. They're also going to need to work on a cure to unlock dreams and also save Ruben's life. So it is very, very important that we do this, and it's very important that we say to Sticky what we say here. Now before I move on, I'm going to organise the inventory and store some things in the cupboard, so I'll see you guys when that's done. And there we go, that's all done. We need to make ourselves some tinctures. And in my previous playthrough, I found that the Yas tincture was the one that ultimately made the cure. So to make these, we need to mix the brown herb with the blood herb like so. The rest we'll just make some random combinations for now, and we're going to keep them if we need them. So we're all stocked up on tinctures. I'll quickly show you what we need to fix in order to start working on the cure. And the cure is going to be our main focus over the next few in-game days. And you'll see here that we need a piece of scrap metal and a toolkit, which we spoke to Sticky about before, in order to get this bit of the alembic up and running. So we're now going to go and save the game and rest up before moving on. So head on up the stairs and speak to the herb bride again if you want to. It's not important, neither are any of the responses we give. You'll find out more about this girl later on. And if we head on outside, we'll have our bull delivered, which we bought on day 1. This is going to be for a trophy, which we need to pop on day 11. So hopefully you bought your bull on day 1. As I said in previous videos, I've not actually tried to buy the bull on either days 2, 3, 4, whatever. I've never tried to buy the bull on any other days. But buying it on day 1, you're going to get it for a cheap price, and you're always going to find it hanging around the Haruspex layer here, ready to speak to on day 11. So our next destination is going to be the Nutshell, but if we take the route past the train station, we can go and grab ourselves another missable trophy. We now need to do a bit of train summoning. We're going to start by speaking to the kids here at the station. So here we are on the map, if you're lost. And now when we speak to the kids, if you choose the options that I choose on screen, we're basically going to want to agree with them and say that we want to know more about train summoning, and we're going to have to name our train. So once you've spoken to the kid, I'll take you on over to the map here, and if we head to this part of the track, which is the end where it just slightly curves off, now we're literally going to have to head on over here, and we're just going to stand there until we hear the train. And once you've heard the train coming, then you'll have summoned the train, and you'll have popped the Heavenly Train trophy. Strange one, but but there we go. Now head back to the nutshell where we were headed to in the first place, and we're going to go and pop yet another missable trophy. If we head on inside and we speak to Capella and Maria, now your responses don't matter with them, but we will be confronted by Clara when we get outside.
God saves the moon from the wolves.
No. No one can replace Simon.
Now when you're speaking to Clara, you're going to need to choose the exact options that I do in order to be muted by Clara, and we're going to pop the Mute Curse trophy. Now you can mess this bit up if you choose the wrong options, and you will then be locked out of the trophy. You can't unlock it again, but if you choose the options I choose, you should be okay. Now on to our next task, and for this we're going to head on over to the cathedral. And we're going to go and speak to the kids here, and we're going to be invited to join in what basically is a massive treasure hunt. Now this isn't mandatory, but we can get some pretty decent loot from the map markers that the kids give us. Plus it's something to do as we've pretty much done everything we can do for now on day 2. But before we embark on that little adventure, we can try and speak to Khan in the tower by heading over to this map marker here. Now this map marker is not essential. We can't speak to him no matter what responses we give. We're always going to be turned down. If you head on over to this point on the map specifically, you're going to find a couple of kids, and if we speak to them, we're going to find that we get another stash marker on the map. Now this is definitely worth doing if you have the time, as in previous playthroughs I managed to get myself some weapons, some schmauder. The loot boxes are easy enough to find, so rather than waste the night just sleeping, I definitely recommend going for these to see what you get if you've got the time. So there's nothing too glamorous in our first one, but we're going to take the stuff anyway for trades, because all this stuff will come in really useful for trading with the kids and going for that tag trophy. We're just going to leave them a bullet in return, as those are the rules. If we take something, we have to leave something. I'm not sure how that affects your loot, but I'd be interested to know if anybody has tried leaving more than what they've got in the box in terms of value, whether you get any more in the next loot box that you find, and whether anybody's not left anything at all, because I've not tried that either, not leaving anything. I thought I'd be the good guy and at least leave them something if I'm taking something out. So on to the next stash spot. Again, I'll show you a map marker on where to get another one. Do the same as before, we'll just speak to the kids. And then we're going to head on upwards until we see some lanterns just on the left. And we're going to follow the cliff around and down, and you're going to find the loot box here. So again, it's nothing to scream about. This was the box that I got the schmauder in last time, but again, the items are tradable, so we'll grab them and leave them another bullet. So now it's getting close to midnight and we have a pantomime to go and see, so we're going to head on over to the theatre for that. We'll have a trophy popped for surviving day 2, and let's go and enjoy the pantomime.
It isn't uniform. Each day is followed by a shorter night, and each night by a yet shorter day. The end is closer than you think.
I can work miracles. I just lay hands on a person and they... You know, if they had cancer or a tumor or something in the blood. I'm not very good with terms, but God loves me.
3 years ago, a cure for typhoid was found. 4 years ago for the Blue Death. A year ago for a strain of smallpox. Science is all-powerful.
Local medicine can do a lot. Although while studying, I started to see it as backwards, but it did work at times.
Well, satisfied with your boasting? Trying to impress each other like little kids? Unbelievable.
Enough with this ridiculous meeting, you bunch of quacks. No type of medicine will help you here.
So that should be your second pantomime so far. Again, a pantomime is always on every single night at 12 PM. So make sure that you drop what you're doing and you go and you see the pantomime, as there are 10 altogether in order to unlock the trophy. And we'll also get a location of the dead item shop. So we're going to head on over there. So he hasn't got much, but we're going to grab the food off him. The rest, yeah, it's not really worth it. So we've still got a bit of time to kill. Is what we're going to go and do is we're going to go and check this stash spot over here. And we're right by it, so why not? Also, you're going to be on the lookout for muggers at night time as well. Now, this guy here chased me, grabbed me, so he gets to meet his doom. But if you stand and fight, chances are you can be surrounded by quite a few muggers and you're going to die because you're going to get overwhelmed. And as I said in the beginning videos, we're going to want to try and keep our death toll below 7. Otherwise, we're going to have to do 2 complete playthroughs of this game. I don't really want to do. So you're going to either have to fight these guys off, run into another district, and the guards will fight off the muggers for you. It's entirely up to yourself. I had no choice here. I just found myself backed into a corner. So here's where the loot box is located here, and we've got ourselves a dusty note. We're definitely going to read that in a sec. And the dusty note reads, "Found the last walnut hidden in the tadpole yard. Meet you there." Right, okay. So if we check the map, we're going to get a new map marker to check out, but we are going to continue that in the next video. So our next destination is going to be down at Aspitti's Hospice. Now, as we're technically on day 3, there is a dream we need to have, and there is a reflection we need to speak to in here. But we can also pop another trophy. It's one of the people in here. If we speak to them and give them the money back that we taken on day 2, we're going to be popping the Clear Conscience trophy for doing so. here's the guy right here. So just choose the options that I do and you should pop the trophy, no troubles. So once we've done that then, in this room here, we're going to find Aspiti's reflection. So as with the last reflections, just exhaust the conversations. It doesn't matter what you choose. And as long as you've exhausted the conversation fully, then it will count toward our no reflection trophy later on. So finally, we're going to speak to Aspiti, and I think I'm going to call the video here. So as always guys, I'll ask you to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe with notifications on for more Pathologic 2 and for more trophy hunting videos. Thanks for watching, take care.
Bayala Yargachin. Bayala.